Okay, we are literally jumping into the last video of 2024. What a year. Now, last year I made a big old video solely for the purpose of yapping about what was going to happen in 2024, what my goals were, and all that kind of thing. I reached some of those goals. I didn't reach some of the others. But all in all, what a year. Now, this video is not me talking about all of last year, although maybe I'll make a video on that. I'm not sure. But boy, was 2024 awesome. We'll just say that. But in this video, I want to talk about the stock Nautilus. It has been a really long time since I've talked about this. This thing I just acquired in a trade with Jesse Flips, the good old fella who I met at my first blade show and my third blade show, and who started off the trade up challenge by trading a Prisma Pro for a brand new Orion. And I did a trade with him. It was slightly in his favor, and I helped him out a ton by even upping that trade, by trading it for something else and a whole bunch of stuff. But yeah, I really want to pay him back in any little way I can for his huge contribution to the trade up challenge. Starting it off, the trade up challenge now crossing close to like $2,000 gained in value. It's absolutely huge. When I get to a good stopping point with challenge, or like a midpoint or something like that, I will make a video on that challenge, by the way. I have listed everything that I've traded through it, and I'm very excited to just go back and look at everything. Real quick, if you've noticed this tripod over here, see if I can look up there. Got a ring light, and ring lights are normally for putting your camera like behind it to really get light on your face, which I will be using for that purpose. But it's also so bright that I can really light up this room, and it's way better now. I can see better. I'm sure you guys can see better. So that's super sweet. Christmas was good this year. Now, I have to talk about one more thing before we actually get down to the nitty-gritty of revisiting the Nautilus, which, by the way, was my first real non-clone, non-CCC Bally. I want to talk about the Bally Awards real quick. The Bally Awards, the Balisong Awards show, hosted yearly by Camaro EE Blade Bias himself. It was awesome. It was such a fun show this year. This is my second Bally Awards. Can't want to say Blade show. Second Bally Awards. It was way better than the first one I attended, which was last year. Mainly because I knew a lot more of the faces who were on the award show. Last year, there were a lot of people who I had no clue who they were, because I didn't have Instagram at the time. So a lot of people, like a lot of them, I had no clue who they were, and it was kind of weird. This year, I knew everybody. Not a soul made a video for Bally Awards who I did not know, and that was awesome. A lot of them I know personally. I'm friends with in this hobby. I made one. That was pretty sweet. I did not get to put nearly as much effort as I wanted to into it because of pure procrastination and laziness and Christmas. Spending a lot of time being behind on Christmas, you know. But I got to put in I'm still proud of it. It was fairly simple face cam award presentation. Got to award Flipper of the Year to spoilers. Skip like 10 seconds if you don't want it to be spoiled. You should go watch it though. I got to present it to Banks. Flipper of the Year went to him. Super awesome. He totally deserved it. He is my favorite flipper. And as I said in that clip, one that I'm inspired by daily. I watch all of the stories. I study them a little bit. Try to learn as much as I can from him. I'm not going to say his name again in case you didn't skip far enough. But yeah, Bally Awards were sweet. Definitely the best one, and they're only going to get better. And thank you to all of you who were watching that, anyone who was excited when my name came up, anyone who nominated me for the categories and voted for me. I went and attended the after show for a little bit, and I got like 26% or something for Magnificent Modder. So like 25 to 26 of you guys, something like that, voted me for Magnificent Modder, which was huge. That means a lot of you like my stuff. Andrew Myers, who won, had, I believe, less than 40%. So I'm right up there with some of the greats. I know my mod work is not at their level yet. I am happy to admit that. But it will be one day. I'm always improving. Got a lot of stuff going on to expand my mod work. So that's pretty cool. And lastly, Creator of the Year. Now, this one, I had a little bit less of a percentage, but I was up against some titans, okay? Will Hirsch and Ethan, huge competition, you know? And I still stood my ground, held my own. Got like, it was in the 20%, I believe. Low 20s, which is good. Got a little less than a quarter of you guys voting for me against the two greats, so that's huge. Thank you guys for that. And now, let's talk about the Nautilus. The Nautilus is so much better than I remembered. Now that I know how to tune competently enough to get the tap out of a Nautilus, apparently, this is the best tuned Nautilus I've felt. Now, the one K-Sauce tune for me, I guess, is better in some ways, but this one has less play, believe it or not. The one K-Sauce tuned is way bouncier. He did some of his wizardry with it. I just sanded down the bushings and polished the washers a little bit. But I got this thing to dead play. Like, it doesn't move. There's not wiggle at all. This is oiled. Nice and bouncy. Sounds really good. No play. Like, none. Anything you see, any movement is washer flex. It doesn't wiggle. That was freehand, by the way. No calipers, anything like that. That is my preferred way to tune. But a fresh tuned Nautilus, one of the best trainers you can possibly buy. I stand by that. I've tried a lot of knots. Some are really good, some are horrible. This is probably one of the best ones I've tried. It's just a basic wintergreen Nautilus V2. Slap a tune on it, and it's insane. Now, just going over some of the specs of this guy, for any of you not familiar with it. Keep in mind, I did make a review on the Nautilus V2 over a year ago. Very old video for this channel. One of like my first 10 videos, I want to say, maybe 15. A little piece of history, but let's just go over the specs. Sorry, I'm getting way too sidetracked. We have G10, just a basic G10 scale aluminum liner design. Well, not liner, aluminum channel design with G10. It's a very interesting design. I think Squid kind of coined the channel aluminum with G10 thing. I don't think anyone had done that before. Reps were a thing back then, but that was sandwich tie and G10. So this was new. Turned out pretty good though. We have a bushing pivot design with tang pins, not Zen pins. Very interesting. Not a lot of people use those now, but they work. They do kind of get squished though over time. Oh gosh. I'm gonna do a jump cut and plug in my light. Oh well, my light said it had 1 bar. I gambled and I ultimately lost. But now we're back. Anyways, I was talking about tang pins getting squished. My old Nautilus that I've had for a year and a half now almost is losing its handle gap a little bit. I'm sending it to Squid. I told him I'd pay for a new blade because that Nautilus is a piece of history. You know, it's the only Balisong, or not anymore. It was the first Balisong that I bought with an engraving. because I engraved it with the Buffness Flips for this channel, because it was such a huge like milestone for me and this channel. Very special Balisong to me. Probably my top 5 most special. But yeah, I think that's the specs. The Nautilus is very light, which is something you should note if you're looking to buy one. Like, you will have a light flipping experience, but I don't think I've ever heard anyone complain about the Nautilus being too light. That's what it's made for. Everyone just flips the thing. They can flip it so casually, so fast, so slow even, and it just flows because you don't have to throw much around, you know? It's just so amazing. Now, some of the things that I dislike still about the Nautilus, I'm sure I mentioned these in my previous review, but you never know. Younger me might not have known what he was talking about. A little guy who had been flipping for only 6 months at that time. Some gripes I have still with the Nautilus. Tang pins. I'm not a huge fan of tang pins. Sure, this thing feels amazing. The tang pins don't hinder the flipping. They might even make it better. I'm not sure what tang pin versus zen pin does for the flipping experience. I'm sure it is something, but very, very minimal difference. But tang pins just aren't my thing. They squish. You can't just press them out and press in new ones, easily at least. And I am a zen pin guy. I much prefer them. But that's just a design feature. Some people like it, some people like me hate it, and it's preference. Another thing, the blade is really thin, which you can't thicken the blade without completely redesigning the Nautilus. The thin blade was a design choice, probably meant to affect the flipping experience and stuff like that. But it leads to kind of weird tunes sometimes. Like a Squid Nautilus tune will come to you pretty good. It'll have some play. But then over time, as you drop it on concrete, the tune will break and you will get tap. That has happened to me on my Nautilus 3 times because I've sent it to Squid to get tuned before I learned to tune myself. And it got really annoying. Now, if you get a good solid tune on it, it can hold, like the one Kareem did on my knot. That tune has held ever since, no tap, nowhere even close. This one I'm hoping will hold. Still no play. But we will see. But a Nautilus, we'll see. If Squid ever makes a Knot V3, the tuning better be on point. I will be looking. Another thing is jimping. The Nautilus has quite good jimping. Until you realize it's not in the scales. It's only in the channel. So you'll grip in the channel. You will feel it. It will help. But my spasm finger scales on my custom knot has jimping in the liners, or in the scales, sorry. And it is very noticeable in a positive way. So if we ever get a V3 Nautilus, we better get some jimping on those scales. Like, that would be amazing. Just another little gripe, just a little shortcut that Squid took that, while not really making that big of a difference negatively, is still kind of annoying. And those are my main gripes with the knot. I think it's amazing. 70-75 aluminum is good. The Nautilus blades, I've never seen any of them get bent or break or anything like that. And of course that would be warranty. You could get it replaced easily. Nautilus is just so good. It's so good. As I've been flipping it, it's kind of nostalgic. Because like right when I would get my Nautilus back from a fresh Squid tune-up, it would feel so good, just like this. Just with a little more play, you know? And I miss it. I'm very happy to have this thing back. It is part of the trade up challenge, but I'm gonna keep it for a while. I did a 1 for 2 trade for this guy and another Bally. I've already traded that Bally. So I'll still have something going around in the challenge. But this guy is gonna stay with me for a little bit. It is just too gosh darn fun. But anyways, I think that's gonna do it for this video. Nautilus, still the meta. You can get a Nautilus on Squid's website right now. You can try to buy a used one for cheap. Just make sure it has a good handle gap and a half decent tune, you know. And you will love it. I can almost guarantee it. The Nautilus is one of the best trainers out there. People take it for granted. I know I did. Having it back is just so nice. And I recommend black scales for it. These white ones get dirty really fast. Gotta get like rubbing alcohol and stuff. But that's gonna do it for this video and for 2024. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me this year. Thank you to all my channel members. I'm not gonna put you on screen. I'll do that in my main channel videos. Or, this is main channel. In my face cam videos, you know. I will probably shout you out verbally too. But 2024 has been an amazing year for this channel. Very glad that all of you have been enjoying my content. I'm sorry for being gone so long, but I got a lot more videos coming fresh into the new year. Should be getting back to a normal upload schedule. Just got to get back some motivation and get less busy with super secret projects that will be revealed very soon. Okay, thank you all so much for watching. See you in an entire year. Peace. It's like one day.